Hi, Dr. Zakir with you, Senior ENT Consultant. So the topic is orbital complication secondary to rhinosinusitis. And this condition is a vast one, so I have taken 4 different parts. In the first part, first we'll deal with the structure of the sinus as well as the structure of the nose and different stages of the disease in the eye, so that you can understand the rest of the parts well. So here we go. So coming to the structure of the sinus, all of us, we have 4 sets of sinuses. So, and this forms the frontal sinus, second pair maxillary sinus, third pair you have ethmoid sinus, one on each side. I have drawn only on one side. It has to be on both sides. And the last sinus, which is sphenoid sinus, way behind the nose. This is the sphenoid sinus. So if you see the position of the orbit or the eye, it is surrounded almost on all the sides by the sinuses. Frontal sinus here, ethmoid sinus medially, and inferiorly you have maxillary sinus. And by the way, in children, the ethmoid sinus are well developed, and any severe infection of the sinuses, it can easily spread from the ethmoid sinus into the eye, because the separation between the sinus and the orbit is very thin. So it has been named as papyracea, lamina papyracea, something which separates the eye and the sinus, and it is papery thin, that's why. So it can very easily spread from the ethmoid sinus into the orbit. Now coming to the structure of the eyes. See, every bone, it has got a covering which is called as periosteum. So what happens, the periosteum covering the forehead and the periosteum covering the cheek, these two join together to form one sheet which approaches the eye and gets fused with a tarsal, which is a small plate in the upper eyelid. So this fusion of the covering of the bone, which is called the periosteum, the fusion from the forehead and the cheek, which forms the septum of the eye, of the eyelid. This septum is very important. See this picture. This is the periosteum of the forehead. This is the periosteum from inside and the cheek, and it forms the orbital septa. So, and it approaches the eyelid and joins with the tarsal plate. This septum, it prevents the spread of infection from in front of the septum. It prevents any spread of infection inside the orbit. So any infection which is seen in front of the septum is called preseptal, and suppose the infection has spread into the eyeball, which is behind the septum, is called as postseptal. Now coming to the stages of the disease, now I hope you will understand better. Once inside the eye, or one concerned with the eye orbit, we can say preseptal, that is before the septum, orbital cellulitis only. Cellulitis means it has not gone into a stage of abscess. It can. Postseptal cellulitis means the cellulitis is behind the septum. It is already in the orbit. Subperiosteal abscess. Periosteum is the covering of the bone, and it just below the periosteum, you have an abscess to start with. Now it spreads and occupies the whole of the eyeball, so it resulting in orbital abscess. And the last one, it can spread this eye infection, it can spread from the eyes through the veins, important veins. It can spread into the cavernous system. You have a brain, and inside the brain you have a system of flow, or the venous system, which is called as venous system of the brain, central nervous system, and in that you have a structure here called cavernous sinus. So this cavernous sinus is well connected by all the veins from the eyes. It all drains into the cavernous system. So what happens is, any infection in the eye, it can easily spread into the cavernous sinus. So that forms the last stage, cavernous sinus thrombosis. So hopefully you have understood the different stages of the disease once it reaches the eye. So once you understand the different stages, please do keep this in mind, because every part, let it be part 2, part 3, part 4, we are going to discuss in different stages, and mainly I am going to stick on to this classification mainly. So let us go to the second part, where we will see the presentation of the patient, what are the complaints of the patient, and how are we going to examine the patient. Thank you so much.